there. So take 2 of this video because because I'm lame sometimes. All right, so today I'm going to take a look at Toppling Goliath Brewing Company's Pseudo. It's a Mosaic dry hop pale ale, it's a brewing history project, brewing up history with the Field Museum Chicago. So currently, the Field Museum has Sue the dinosaur on display, and the dinosaur is famous. So we'll talk a little bit about Sue the dinosaur after we talk about Pseudo the beer. So, like I said, this is a second take, so I've actually already had some. So let's go ahead and pour off a little bit more and see if we can get it heady again. So this beer has a considerable amount of sediment, or at least haze at the bottom. I guess it's not going to show up here. So I'm trying not to pour that into my glass as I drink. This beer is 6.5% and 45 IBUs. Let me just verify that that's, verify that's not a lie. 6.8% and 45 IBUs. The reason I'm sitting outside and is because, as you can see in the background here, we have a T-Rex who guards our herb garden, and so this is Sue, the T-Rex, so I will toast to our Sue shortly. So this beer is really, really hop forward in the aroma. When I give it a smell, I get a lot of grapefruit aroma out of this, some citrus. It's like a little danky. This Mosaic really comes across as intense to me. And color-wise, it's this beautiful haze going on. If this were an IPA, we would call it a hazy IPA. But we're looking at a pale ale. So very, very, very hazy. And a little bit of sediment kind of floating around in there, which I think only as it floats by would you be able to see it. But beautiful color, pours heady, dissipates pretty quick. Let's have a drink. So this beer is so nicely balanced in the flavor. It's amazing to me. Still very hop forward and aggressive. Very citrusy though, and bright and clean. It does have some nice kind of maltiness to it to balance out this hoppiness. But it's almost like having a beer that has a lemon slice in it, you know, but clearly it doesn't have a lemon slice because that would be a beer faux pas. Very nicely balanced. That's my kind of biggest take home from this beer. When I smell it, it's very hop forward. Mosaic hop tends to be a little off-putting to me because it smells, just because of the intensity of the aroma. But as you drink it, it's just amazing. You know, definitely hop aggressive up front, and resolves into this juicy tropical brew, and it's really amazing. It like almost hints at sweetness, kind of in like a lemonade way, but it's certainly not sweet, not sticky at all. Very nicely balanced, and very, very drinkable. Great for a hot day, which is perfect because it's actually pretty hot out here. I'm actually going to kick off my slippers. You know, sitting in sun for 5 minutes makes me hot. 4 minutes and 6 seconds, but who's counting? So let's talk a little bit about Sue, the T-Rex at the Field Museum. So Sue, the world famous. So I'm going to read directly from this short description of Sue, the T-Rex, on the Field Museum website, and I'll include a link to that so you can see it below. So this was written. I think it was written recently, and that's weird that it's not dated. I don't know. February 8, 2018, maybe. Sue, the world-famous T-Rex, is going through some big changes. This fearsome fossil has moved from Stanley Field Hall, and we're working behind the scenes to make scientific updates to the skeleton. Sue will now be off display until spring of 2019 and debut in a brand new gallery as part of our permanent Evolving Planet exhibition. So it'll be great. So I guess you can't see Sue right now, but also just as a spoiler alert, the Field Museum actually serves Pseudo beer, so you could go and drink this beer there. But I think it's really cool to have beer themed with the exhibit, so I'm appreciating that a lot. So as the largest preserved and most complete Tyrannosaurus rex ever found, Sue is an invaluable research specimen. More than 90% complete, Sue measures 40.5 feet long from snout to tail, 13 feet tall at the hip. Sue's signature smile, made up of 58 dagger-like teeth, is popular visitor photo op, and will remain in the new gallery. The skull mounted on Sue's skeleton is a replica, while the original 600-pound skull has its own case that allows for close-up viewing and study. The fossil skull has been moved from the second floor balcony and will also return to display in Sue's new private suite in 2019. So during Sue's time out of the public eye, scientists are making important scientific updates to this fearsome fossil, including adding Sue's gastralia to the rest of the skeleton. Those are bones that look like an extra set of ribs and help T-Rex breathe. We're also updating Sue's pose according to research that's come out since Sue was first mounted in the year 2000. We'll lower the arms and adjust the positioning of the wishbone. Sue is pretty cool because it's the most complete T-Rex skeleton that we have available, and based on the skeleton, oftentimes you can tell the sex of an animal based on the pelvis. But this particular skeleton, or this particular species, it's not necessarily clear looking at the skeleton what this animal's gender was, Sue is famous now and has a social media account on Twitter that you can follow. If you look up Sue, but it comes up under Sue the T-Rex, SUE, capital letters, and it comes up under specimen FM as in Mary, N as in Nancy, HPR2081, and then has a dinosaur emoji because, super important. The profile says, legendary fossil, apex predator, national treasure, the new sweet getter, all caps name haver, they, them, pronoun user, large murder bird. So cheers to Sue the T-Rex as our most complete T-Rex skeleton we've been studying that gets an update that shows a little bit different position. And then cheers to my own Sue living here, keeping my rosemary at bay. So cheers to science, cheers to Sue, cheers Sue, you're the best. And cheers to this great beer. Really a lovely beer. So there you go. That is Pseudo by Toppling Goliath. Thank you, Toppling Goliath, for having a history-themed beer. Very exciting. I'm really excited that you're serving Pseudo at the Field Museum in Chicago. And I hope I get the opportunity to visit. I've never been to Chicago, so that would also be cool. So maybe I'll have to set my sights for Chicago 2019 and visit Sue in person. If this is a beer that you've had, please share with me. I would love to hear about it. It also comes in cans, which is great because, now it's not light struck at all ever, and, it's a single serving. You don't have to share with anybody. People assume when you have a 22-ounce beer that you want to share. I never want to share, really. There you have it. Great beer, delightful to drink, excellent science reference. We learned that Sue is non-binary, gender non-conforming, I don't know, and uses they, them pronouns. Please follow Sue on Twitter. Again, if you look up at Sue the T-Rex, you will find Sue on Twitter. Cool. So share with me if this is something that you've had before. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. And tell me specifically if you had it at the Chicago Field Museum. I would love to hear that. That would be really cool. And thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.